No, Darwin was not the guy who came up with the concept of evolution, and he was not the guy who came up with the theory of evolution. Ideas, the great ideas of humanity, they don't just pop up in some mind of one original thinker. I mean, if there are such thinkers, they are very rare. Shout out to my boy Hegel. Yay, yay. So anyways, by the time Darwin was born, the idea of our planet being a result of gradual change has been out there, especially in geology, which young Darwin was very interested in. And some guys were like, yeah, the Earth as we know it now was created by volcanoes, and then some other guys were like, no, it was created by fucking water or something, I don't know. And of course young Darwin was interested in those debates, and then one day he traveled to some exotic, I don't know, fucking Bahamas or something, and then he observed some weird fucking species out there, and he was like, whoa, wait a minute, I just had an idea that will revolutionize fucking biology. What if there wasn't a Adam and Eve who there was a giant guy in the sky, and he was like, look, I've made animals, name them human, and then they named them, and the animals stayed the same from day one to day the current year. Darwin obviously lost his Bible, and he couldn't know that, so he got some weird ideas that maybe the species as we know them can be maybe accounted by a theory of evolution. Of course, he didn't want to be ridiculed for this idea, so he was very careful not to publish his ideas before there was some other guy. So there was one guy called Wallace, and he was like, hey, this is my book on the theory that maybe there's some just some progressive gobbledygook. And then Darwin was like, hey, I also had some, here's some notes on why I think that the theory of evolution might be a valid, and then nonetheless Darwin was ridiculed because, dear Darwin, people are shit. But never mind about Darwin, this is about mother flipping David Hume. So let me just check something. Yes, Darwin was born 100 years after Hume. So 100 years before Darwin, Hume was already making some speculations about the theory of evolution. So there were those guys who were like, yeah, we are men of science and we have investigated the road, and from the scientific evidence we conclude firmly that God exists. Yes, you've heard this right. The scientific evidence speaks in favor of God. So this school of thought employed quite some arguments, and the one that is perhaps the best known is the watchmaker analogy. So the argument goes like, you're walking on a beach, and then all of a sudden you look down and you see a complex mechanism on the ground that we call a clock or a watch, and you're like, oh wow, this is a very complex machinery. Surely it wasn't just, made out of by itself on this ground. Obviously someone created it. There was an intelligent designer that designed this clock. But then stupid atheists go on and they see a fucking turtle and they're like, oh wow, well, this is a complex mechanism. Surely there was no intelligent designer who made this thing that I'm looking at right now. Surely it is something, I don't know, whatever supports my stupid atheistic beliefs. And that's perhaps the one argument that survived the longest from, those natural religion type of thinking. Well, Hume wasn't taking any of it. He was like, well, in his book he went after all of the possible arguments one could have for a natural religion, and he was like, fuck it, it's shit. So with this particular argument, Hume is like, okay, now for the sake of argument, let's imagine. And then he imagines a fucking theory of evolution, a fucking natural selection theory. He just fucking drops it in his book. It's like, yeah, let's, for the sake of fucking argument, let's imagine the fucking universe being a result of a fucking gradual natural change. So he's like, imagine that for some reason there is a natural preference in this universe for structures that are more complex than other ones. Wouldn't it be easy to imagine that in such a universe, complex structures would be found because of this natural selection, this natural pressure towards complex mechanisms in the world? And he fucking destroyed the natural religionists. What did I just say? Religionists? I don't really know how to speak this language. Make sure to check out my lectures on the philosophy of language. So what is the point of this video? First of all, Hume is a fucking badass, and secondly, the watchmaker analogy has been fucking destroyed by Hume already. Yeah, but the point of this video is that in philosophy you can find a lot of discussions about things that are not part of a scientific mainstream debate yet, because the theories that the philosophical assumptions that underlie those debates are not yet part of this particular scientific paradigm, paradigm of the present era. But once those topics get relevant to the scientific discussions, it is a waste if people don't go look into the philosophical debate around it, because really, if we don't do that, we just keep rediscovering hot water. We have to, if that's a saying. Is that a saying in English? Rediscover hot water? I don't know. Like in Slovenia, we have this saying that somebody rediscovers hot water, so he's doing something redundant. Is that a saying in English? I don't even fucking know. What the fuck? Glejte, da ne boste odkrivali tople vode. Yeah, but that's basically the point. Like, if you wanna know things about nature, about the world, ethics, everything, like, philosophers of the past still do have relevant things to say. So maybe go look, open a book and be like, wow, this is very self-evident, but put in a very intelligent way. So I dig it. And don't forget to read Hegel. So that's it for this video. Before I go, however, I just want to point out that in my previous videos I have been putting a donation link to my PayPal account. So I didn't really say anything about it because I don't really need the money, but I do require large quantities of green tea to keep me going. So if you want to support the channel, that does mean a lot. So the reason why I am talking about this is because there's been some donations, and I am very grateful for your support, guys. From Estelambura, I don't know how to pronounce your name. This guy is from Australia, and just thank you. And also to Lucas, again, I'm not sure how to pronounce this name, although it is Polish, a guy from Poland. Thank you very much. And Jerome. Now, Jerome, I hope that's how your name is pronounced. You're from Switzerland, so I'm not entirely sure. But thank you. Really, thank you guys for your support. It does mean a lot. And with the money that you've sent my way, I've bought this microphone, and hopefully I will be able to squeeze some better audio quality out of my future videos. Yeah, once I learn how this thing works. I hope it's in the right position.